Jesus?
So this is the Straits of Malacca, the world's second busiest waterway, bordered by Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore. It's also the traffic jam capital of the Southern Seas. In fact, 40% of the world's trade passes right through here. Oh, and of course pirates too. Arr. Japan, China, and South Korea depend on it for 80% of their oil and natural gas imports from the Middle East. The Malacca Straits are so important to the world that ships are actually built to a specification called Malacca Max, so they can get through the straits without getting stuck. Why so popular? The only other way around this region is to circle around Indonesia, which adds 5 days and 1,500 km to the journey, and through rougher seas too. And not to mention that Singapore is actually a pretty nice port. Among the beneficiaries of this route are Malaysia, which was at one time even thinking of charging a toll for the Straits of Malacca. But even though they don't, they still take revenues from Port Klang. But Singapore gains the most because maritime services make up more than 7% of their economy. To put that in perspective, that's more than 3 times their annual GDP growth. And this is where Thailand might be spoiling the party. Essentially, what they're proposing is to correct a new shipping path straight through here. This is the Canal now. The canal would divert some of the traffic from the Straits of Malacca, making it safer, faster, and potentially cheaper for countries to get shipping across. But here's the thing, it was actually proposed more than 300 years ago by King Narai of Ayutthaya, now Thailand. In 1677, he asked a French engineer to survey the possibility of building a waterway to connect Songkhla with Marit, now Myanmar. But the idea was canned because technology at the time literally tak boleh jalan lah. Today, the project is still kinda daunting, but possible, since we already have the Suez Canal, the Panama Canal, and the Grand Canal. And Thailand could benefit from all the shipping services and maybe even charge a toll. Of course, Malaysia and Singapore economies would suffer somewhat, but hey, at least Malaysia still got Langkawi, right? The canal itself could bring development to the northern states of Malaysia, supplying them with some of the wealth that their southern neighbors have been enjoying for ages. Also, due to technical limitations, not all the traffic is likely to flow into the Canal, but would still have a pretty serious effect on the region, particularly Singapore. So anyway, why hasn't Thailand done it yet? They're worried about the people in the lower parts of Thailand that might be cut off because of the canal and potentially secede. And there are also rumors that naughty Malaysians and Singaporeans have been bribing Thai officials to shoot down the proposal for years. But probably the biggest reason is that the Canal is not going to be cheap lah. 28 billion USD dollars, yo! Walao! Who got that kind of money?
China.
China's economy is massive, but their internal development is slowing down now, so they're using their resources to improve the rest of the neighborhood. Southeast Asia is now China's development darling, with China funding infrastructure projects in Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and more. Yeah, there's a lot of handshaking going on there. Yeah, just keep shaking those sweaty hands. These create new markets to export their goods and might play into their One Belt, One Road dream of making trade routes all across Asia to transport their goods. So, will it happen or won't it happen? Let us know in the comments, and as usual, keep it here on Chili Sauce for more current issues, tambah pedas, and sometimes Asian Dr. Evil memes.